You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always are my good friends.
Jay from the hills of South Carolina.
And Shannon G, usually may say Z, but right here with Mike.
Yeah, we're here at the Arizona Scale Aviation Airshow.
Airshow. There we go. 2026.
2026. We had some guys that actually Tony told us, he's like, hey, man, you're getting that right. You know, you're getting it wrong. You got to say it. So it's the Arizona Scale Aviation Airshow here at 2026. It was formerly Warbirds and Classics. Brian O'Meara puts it on every year. And he's done a great job again this year.
Yeah.
So
I call it O'Meara Palooza.
O'Meara
Because
Palooza.
his wife's birthday is the same
That's
weekend.
right. Yeah.
It's a big deal. So
Yeah, it is a big
Palooza, a.k.a. the other corrective.
Anyway, so we're out at the field. Jay is in the studio with us. We appreciate him joining us, and we do appreciate you listening to us. We always love our listeners. Give us a shout out, thumbs up, subscribe, join our Facebook listeners group there on the Facebook. It keeps growing and growing every chance Shannon gets, he promotes it, and we're happy with that.
It's really popular in Turkmenistan. Just so you know.
Yes, I think so. And
We have our action figures.
You do, yeah. I mean, we should be like raking in all the licensing money from Turkmenistan, but just haven't seen it yet. So one of these days,
well, it's coming. So
we'll go collect it.
There. Yeah, we'll fly over there. Yeah. We'll fly over there. It is day 2 of the event. This is a 4-day event, I think. Shannon and I, prior engagements, kind of took some time to come over on Friday, Saturday. The Friday day was yesterday. Shannon and I basically came out early in the morning. We got set up and basically brought, I think you can see Shannon brought his T-28. I brought mine. And then, we had 100 registered pilots. Yeah. We had really hot weather.
Yes.
Like the weather was
guarantee you, hot. Jay, you're much cooler than we are right now.
Yes, very much so. He's got a jacket on, so he's like, we're over here like sweating to death. Go like, oh my gosh, it's so. That's why we're in the shade, because it's just, you step outside, it's just 100 and I think it's 105 degrees or something, but that doesn't seem to deter anyone, which is exciting because we've like I said, we have 100 registered pilots. They're all out on the flight line. We're actually, you can see it behind us there if you're on our YouTube channel, and if you're listening to us on Spotify or YouTube or whatever podcast, join us on our YouTube channel. And give us a thumbs up there as well.
You can see the action.
Yeah, Jay does a great job uploading those. We appreciate him for that. But so we all signed up and brought our planes out. And like I said, it was pretty hot. But we had a great day yesterday.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It was awesome.
I didn't fly, but it was just like I charged my batteries. Like, I just didn't feel like flying. But just, it's an air show. I mean, literally, it's an air show. So just watching and just hanging out, talking to people I hadn't seen for a while. It's been a great experience. So, hats off again to Brian and his staff that have just really, presented a world-class RC event again. So love coming out here.
Yeah, I do too. And everybody's talking about it because they, it's one of the highlight events. I think, everybody looks forward to coming out.
Yeah.
And Brian O'Meara has been in the industry for longer than any of us, I think. Yeah. He's one of the originals. Yeah. I think he's the Orville Wilbur Wright of RC.
Pretty close, at least at RC events. Because this is kind of like, so back in the day, there was the 1/8 Air Force, which still exists, but it's not quite what it used to be. And Brian's always been a part of that. And a lot of this club has a lot of history. My club has a lot of history with it. We alternate which field it would go to every year. It was usually twice a year. Then it was once a year. And so that kind of fizzled a little bit. But the spirit of that is this event. So Brian's done a good job. First he had it Warbirds and Classics, and he kept the character. He made a cool logo of like a skull in a pilot suit, and he called him Old and Bold.
Oh,
kind of cool. So that's part of his logo. That's on the event brochure and everything. But definitely the spirit of this hobby is we're not going anywhere. even if we're supposedly 6 feet underground or who knows where else. But it's really kind of cool just to see this keep going.
Yeah, it's he's got a lot of that same, feel. So everybody, loves to be here. They've come from all over. I think we got California, Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, Washington. I think somebody was here. I thought I heard somebody say they were from Canada, but they may just be down and not
probably Canadians that are here for the winter.
Yeah, the winter.
Did Scott make it out?
Scott did not make it out. He called me yesterday. His family came into town. He was going to try and make it today, but it got too tight. He was not going to be able to meet with his family this morning, get a flight in, then come up to the event and then get a flight out, to be at work. So I think he's got to work tomorrow. And so he's like, yeah, it's just going to be too tight. So he did call me this morning, or actually called me late last night on my way home, and we chatted for a little bit. But he was super excited. He called me several times during the event. We had an auction last night. We'll kind of get to it, but he was calling me during the auction, asking me what was going on. But let's see, what are the good airplanes that we've seen? We've walked the flight line a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of planes we've seen before. All Brian's and his creations. I can't tell you. Arthur Gambino, his Stuka,
is always
Spirit of St. Louis. He just brought out.
Yeah, now that one, I don't know if you can see it behind us. It's kind of probably over this way, but it's he got the Spirit of St. Louis, and man, I'll tell you what, Jay, it sounds amazing. Yeah. It looks amazing.
It's got a radial on it.
It's nice. Yeah, it's got that open air radial that kind of does this thing. It is really, just watching it fly is just really amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my favorites.
There's some cool oddball planes. So I don't know if you guys know. There's it's called a Soko J29 Jastreb. It's a Yugoslav jet trainer, very similar to like the Aeromacchi MB339. Very similar plane, but this one just has a little bit bigger wing. It just has a little cooler presence. So I was really cool, because somebody said, "Oh, it's a Hawker Hunter." I go, that's not a Hawker.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that mislabeled this
wings.
Yeah,
but it's good. It flies great.
We do have a Hawker Hunter here.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
so you can compare them, but they're
totally different.
Yeah, totally different airplanes. Yeah. I mean, once you put them side by side, they look totally different.
Yeah. Tony and a couple of guys flying their F-16s in tandem. Mm-hmm. They're looking really good up there. I mean, so we have the real Thunderbirds performing just literally 20 miles away from us this weekend, and we kind of have our own air show that's almost as good in my opinion.
No doubt.
See the planes flying in the background. There's some amazing planes. I know Alex Feist has got his F4 Wildcat. We were talking about that earlier. That's a cool plane. It's
right, red, and it's like it
just sounds good. I just love one of the radials. I just love that sound. The cool thing about this weekend is they're really pushing the kids, not pushing, get out there. They're saying, hey, we're cracking the whip.
They're flying.
My plane.
No, not really.
No, but they actually made an incentive for the youth. I think they had 3. Is it 2 or 3?
They did, yeah.
3 radios. Top 3 kids under the age of 12 or 14. They're going to give them a radio, an IX-14
SE.
SE.
Yeah, it's the IX-14 SE. So it's an expensive radio, and that's compliments of Bonnie and Brian.
Brian, yep.
They they just purchased it, and then they're trying to promote it, because Brian made a statement at the pilot meeting yesterday where he said, if you're not growing your hobby, it's dying.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fact that we've got kids that come and they're basically trying to get involved, we need to be proactive in helping them get better. And a lot of times these kids love to do it, but maybe their parents aren't into a situation where they can afford a $1,200 radio. And so Brian said, you know what, we got kids coming this weekend, and the top 3 guys that fly, they basically have to go out and they have to fly the length of the runway, and they have to fly a pattern. And if they can do all that, then then they're in the running for that radio. So cool. It's very cool.
So Greg Stone, our AMA president, actually is here. He was here yesterday.
That's correct.
Greg for a year. He's a great guy.
Right.
I was so glad he became president. I was talking to him yesterday. One of the challenges that at least my club faces, and I think even here, so we have a lot of, there's colleges that want to, use our facilities and help kind of get ready for, different events, because there's a lot of college aircraft, aviation things that, at least as long as one person's part of AMA, they're covered.
Right.
There's a lot of our club members that are like, they think, oh, no, they all going to be AMA members, or, if something happens, we're going to get sued. And I think it's, no, I talked to Greg, and he's like, I know that's a problem. He's heard that couple times. So he's going to work on hopefully, kind of getting the word out that, hey, we really need to, help promote this. And,
Right.
and, as long as you got somebody who's part of AMA and you're supporting it, and you're not doing anything, you're not doing anything stupid. If you're trying to, if it's for education or STEM or something like that, we're covered. I mean, we need to really push this and help, bring more into it, whether it's, kids, grade school and high school or college, it all adds up, and we just really need to promote the hobby and be supportive of those that are, because, most of the ones in college, they're trying to do it for their career.
Right.
They're trying to be,
if they get that far into it.
exactly. So we really need to do all we can to help with that. So I'm going to, when I go back to my club, talk to my president and the board, say, hey guys, if we get these things that come up, we got to be a little bit more open about it. And, Greg is going to communicate that it's better about that too. So
right.
Really, looking forward to helping with that.
Exactly. The other thing is Phil was here. He's another district.
Phil Tallman, he's with district. I guess it's in Washington. He's up in Washington, but we met at AEF and got to know him. Great guy. And I didn't know he was coming. He's kind of been floating around. He bought a new RV.
Right.
He's just kind of like he retired, and he's just been on the road for months, like literally just going from RC event to RC event. Yeah. And he probably told me he was coming to this, but I saw him. He was like, good to see you. So good to catch up with him. He had a rough flight this morning though. He had his P-47.
He did. It kind of went in. Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I was able to have dinner with them yesterday. I sat at the same table. Yeah. And we got to chat. So they got some great ideas, and it's kind of neat. We had Greg on the podcast not too long ago before while I was running, and so it was good for her to touch base with him and actual real time and kind of talk to him about some of his ideas. So they're good. Steve from FR Sky is here as well. I know he had a family emergency during the electric festival. He was supposed to be with us, and we actually had a spot reserved for him on the podcast, but he wasn't able to attend due to a death in the family. So, but he, I touched base. I sat next to him as well at dinner, and we chit-chatted about some of their product, and we're going to have him on hopefully sometime in the future.
I'm a user of FR Sky. So
yeah.
It's Free Sky. Everyone says FR for Free Sky. It's the same thing.
It's Free Sky.
Just don't say Fry Sky. That's another thing.
Fries. They actually have a hamburger vendor or a food vendor out. They some really great food for good burgers.
They got chicken tenders and other stuff. Stuff.
That's true too. And then it is hot.
The only drawback, we're hit or miss with this time of year, but we just happen to have this 100-degree heat stroke going through the valley, and it's a little rough.
Well, it rained last year, so we're just making up for that.
It's like one or the other. It's either feast or famine.
Yeah. So, and then I think vendors, we had a lot of the vendors that stepped up. I want to give a shout out to Gator RC. They donated a lot of airplanes and some products, and it was, put up for the auction. So the auction in this event actually makes money for the brain cancer, children's brain cancer.
Yeah, I forget the name, but Space Mission under that. But anyway, Brian really supports that.
And we found out yesterday at the pilot meeting that they've raised over $50,000 over the last 3 years, I think, or 4 years.
Yeah, it's been
it's about 4 years. So they've done a really good job. Honestly, in the event size, this is kind of a smaller event for, it's not the Susan G. Komen run for cancer or something like that. It's where you have, millions of people involved. This is a very small venue, and to be able to raise, $50,000 for, awesome. The cancer is awesome. And I know Bonnie and Brian are, great as far as, their donations to them, and they do a good job. So.
I also heard your curse was broken.
What was broken?
Your curse.
Oh, yes.
Your personal curse that you had, that every time you go to an auction, you get outbid, you never can get anything good. And I heard that your curse was broken, and you finally actually walked away with a thing or two.
I did, yeah. Actually, this is the second time, because when we went to the Green Fest, I made a comment. If you didn't hear our last episode, I made a comment to Shannon about them calling my name. I said it would be a miracle, because when I got there, I didn't buy any raffle tickets. And I was like, if they call my name, it's like a miracle. And then they called my name, because it was a pilot raffle that they put all the pilots that registered. Yeah. They didn't tell us that they had one pilot raffle, but they were just doing it. So I won some FR Sky or Free Sky servos, and so they're on their way. I talked to Steve about it. And then this year, we had a great day flying, and usually on Friday nights they do an auction to raise money for the Cancer Society there. And it got hot. A lot of guys, were kind of leaving early, and so anyway, I walked down and was talking to Brian, and sure enough, he was talking about my incident with his niece. And I walked up, and he goes, "Yeah, there's a guy that died, and he kind of burned his house down." And the comment that was made, just to kind of put this in perspective, was that Brian has a ton of airplanes. I mean, he's got a lot, and so do I. I mean, I've got more than my fair share of airplanes too. And Brian said, "What'd you say?"
I said what you did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the point of the story.
Always forget that.
Yeah. We had, but so Brian looked at me. He's in this conversation, and he says, "I try to fly every one of my airplanes at least once a year, once during the year, but I have a terrible time doing that. I can never reach that goal." And I looked at him. I said, "Yes, I have the same problem." And everybody turned and looked at me, and then I go, "Wait, I had the same problem. I don't have that problem anymore. I've got one airplane I can fly all year." And everybody kind of started laughing. So they were kind of poking fun at me. And that's what kind of sparked the story. And anyway, we had a fun time and spent about 15 or 20 minutes just chatting with everybody. And I got up to walk away and, look at some of the items that were being put out for the auction. And without revealing too much, Brian caught me by the arm and he said, "Hey, I have something that you might be interested in." And it wound up being a 33% Comp ARF extra. And it was donated to the club. And, Brian said, "Out of everybody, you should really have this." And so he and I worked a deal, and now I'm an owner of a 33% CARF.
And you got the engine for it, right?
I do have the engine already. So that's it takes a DA 120, and I do have that. So that was on my big fun Katana that we had. We call it the trash airplane, but the trash can plane. But yeah, so it replaced that. This is a 2026 Comp ARF. I've never been one to, pull the trigger on one of those because they're so awesome, but they're so expensive, right? I mean, that's literally Comp ARFs like the Pinnacle. You kind of don't want to crash that thing. Yeah. But a lot of guys will pick it up because it's built so well, and of course we know everybody involved in Comp ARF. He's pretty much here all the time, and they're flying all their airplanes. So yes, I did wind up with a new 102-inch Comp ARF. It's 33%, and was super excited. So once we got that, that was earlier in the afternoon, and Brian I told him he kind of took pity on me, and gave me a good deal on it. But I was able to kind of scoot away with that, put it in the truck, and then came back for the auction a couple hours later, and there were 2 or 3 more items that I was able to snag. Pretty good deal. So I think I walked away with 4 new airplanes. So there you go. And they range anywhere from a small park flyer and all the way up to the 102-inch. So
you covered the gambit.
I did.
Aircraft.
And one of them is actually a turbine. So there we go. So it's a turbine. So yeah, I've got a little group of it, and it was a pretty good deal, and I was able to kind of get them at a really decent price. Yeah. A lot of stuff went last night for really good pricing. I mean,
pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, they did go pennies on the dollar.
Chicken out of it,
and I got a free chicken. Yeah. I just took one. That was my. It was funny because I told the guys at the table as Brian basically said, "Hey, we overbought on the chicken. They had whole chickens because we had a chicken dinner last night." And he goes, "Yeah, we wound up with way more chickens than we were serving. So there's still a bunch left. If you want one, come talk to me and we can give you one." And because I just, earlier bought the airplane, I went and told Brian, I said, "Yeah, hey, this is my way of bribing my wife for me having purchased these airplanes is I'm going to bring her a free chicken, So, yeah, I got a free bag of chicken from Costco, and I walked in the door. I said, look what I brought you. And she's like, yeah, check out the refrigerator, because my dogs are on a chicken and rice diet, and that's just chicken all over the whole refrigerator is full of chicken.
Well, you're on a chicken and rice diet.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's true. But no, it was pretty funny when we walked in when I walked in the door, I was carrying that big comparf, it's the length of the hallway. Oh yeah, and I'm like trying to sneak in the door.
There's no sneaking that into your place now.
Yeah, Jay's been there, and he knows it's literally a 2-bedroom like apartment kind of looking thing, and so getting from the garage door to the spare bedroom that's in there was no chance she was going to miss any of that coming through. And so basically, she looked at me and she kind of went, and I look over the thing and I go, oh hi, like I didn't know she was there. And she looks at the airplane. She looks at me. She goes, do we have any money left in our account? And I go, yep, $1. And she goes, great. And then she turned the TV back on and started watching the TV. She was just shaking her head. And so, yeah, I went back out, and then I drugged the turbine box in there, and she turned the TV off. Then she goes, just $1? Just $1? I was like, yeah, just $1. So she was a good sport about it, though. Like I said, I kind of, now that she's kind of a part of it and she knows, the investment in it, I think that was her dig with, now that she found out what I did have invested in this hobby, she just kind of stuck me with that pointy finger with the, do we have any money left in our account, which we did. It was not a problem. So, but yeah, it was a good time, and I got all that home and wound up with, like I said, 3 airplanes and a receiver. So that was good. So yeah, my winning streak was great for the last 2 events. So I got to keep that going. And everybody's been great about it.
Next time you need to get her, you need to come in and go, hey, I brought you a new dress. And it's a bag, the empty bag, and with the holes poked through them, and here you go. It's great.
That's even awesome. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, just make it a plastic bag and just stick armholes. Yeah, no doubt. Yep. I bought you a new dress. It's the craze right now.
I bought you a new dresser.
Right, it's the latest.
That's what you just get a dresser box. Go to IKEA.
Yeah, the IKEA dresser box.
Just put the RC planes in that. See, get your new dresser. Oh, they must have put the wrong thing in there.
That's true. That's true. So. No, it actually, she's been a really good sport. She did, my wife is like really super OCD and real organized. And so as I brought the last few items in, because I kept going outside and bringing stuff in, and she's just like, oh my gosh, how much did you get? I said, well, I put enough in my truck where I couldn't put anything else.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
You also get.
But she was pretty Johnny on the spot. She looked over at me. She goes, okay, we're going to catalog all this stuff and put a price, because if any of this happens again, I don't want to sell it for what you told me you bought it for. And I was like, yeah, okay, no, that's fair.
Hey, everybody, we're back in the studio here at the Park Flyer Podcast. We want to apologize. We were out of the field, and it was so hot that our computer system and our audio kind of shut down. So we struggled with it. We tried to get it to work, and it just was too hot. My laptop overheated, and we had to eventually just bring it back to the studio to finish this out. So we left there and came back here, and then here we are.
Much cooler here. Much cooler.
It's not 110 degrees or whatever it is out there. So, which I will tell you, when we finished that evening and I came back, I was wiped out. I mean, I truly, it wiped me out. I did not think that, with my condition, I thought, no, it's going to be okay. I'm sitting in the shade. It was not okay. I slept pretty much the entire next day. My wife was a little worried about me. She's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, it was 110 in the shade. So, still 110.
Yes, it still is. And I was drinking a lot of water, which was weird. But anyway, interesting enough, she basically told me, she said, okay, this is the new rule. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you need to catalog.
It's not too good at this stage of your marriage that you have a new rule, dude.
I know, right? After 30 years. No, it was really good though, because she's a good sport. And she looked at me, she said, okay, you need to catalog all that stuff and tell me what you paid for it. Because if something like this happens again, I'm not paying what you told me you paid for it. I want to be able to sell it for, what they're actually worth, not what you think, not what I thought they were worth. So I thought that was kind of nice of her that she was interested, and she didn't like yell or scream at me. She knows. So
I think she just wants it for the divorce lawyer, actually.
Probably so. Well, the funny part is that,
I know.
she told me, she said, or I told her, I said, well, if something did happen to me in this particular case, if something would have happened to me, I go, you would have had to call Jay because, Jay or Shannon both would know how much these are worth. So, I think in my trust, all my airplanes go to Jay anyway, if he's still around. So, except maybe I should split that off and put some to Shannon now that he's local. He can come get them. Anyway, it was pretty funny. So she was really a nice sport. She was a good sport about it. And, she was happy that it did happen because she's like, okay, good. Now he's not just sitting around the house with nothing to do. I at least got something that'll occupy my time instead of just hanging around with her. So that's all good.
Are you just, is she like getting off of, she's in the room working and then she turns around and you're sitting there looking at her?
No.
What you doing?
She's staring at the wall. Stop staring at the wall. Get out of do something.
You need some help?
No. Okay.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. No, it's not like that at all. As a matter of fact, the work that she does, is kind of, it's not top secret, but it's just not, I'm not allowed to be in there because it's, it's work that has to do with, their business, and it's with the big wigs, and, it's a lot of proprietary stuff. So she doesn't let me get in. She'll look at me, she'll go out, out, out. So then I'm in here either playing Xbox or doing something that, somebody's doing something. So anyway, it's kind of funny, but this gives me something to do. And by the way, I have now downloaded all of the. If you're listening to us on the radio, you can't see it, but if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I downloaded the accessory pack and say this is all the stuff that I need. Right, so I've been starting collecting it all, and so I'm a proud owner of my new my iX20 SE that just came in the mail just this week. Matter of fact, day before yesterday, I think. And so I'm pretty excited with that. And then I got the new charger, so you'll be excited about that. So it's it's one of those things that both of those items have come in, and now I got a bunch of stuff for the airplane that I need to get. So, but
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I did start put the landing gear on it, so that's on, and then I put the canopy together, which is weird. I didn't realize CompArf sent the canopy and the frame separate. I thought they came together, but they don't.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, you have to put your own canopy in, so kind of interesting. Wasn't really quite sure about that whole thing, but it works.
Yep.
I mean, I got it done.
What servos are you going to run?
That's a good question. The servos that I purchased are the FR Sky 5402s.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other choice was the 5405s. Do you know the difference between the two?
I don't, actually.
So the 5402s are lower torque but faster, and the 5405s are higher torque but slightly slower. And I don't know for that size airplane what I should go with.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's enough torque no matter what for both of those servos for that airplane.
That could be true, and there's 2 per control surface.
Yeah.
So the 5402s have about 570 torque.
Oh, wow.
And the 5405s have 700 of torque. So if you doubled that times 2, right, then you would have 1,000 per control surface, or you would have 1,400 per control surface.
I guess the question is, do you need it?
I don't know. I mean, it's 102 inches. So, I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, are you doing? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if only there were some experts that you knew that could probably recommend something to you down the street.
You think?
Yeah.
Like a 3-time world champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I've already put a call into him.
Okay. Gotcha.
Why speculate when you could talk to the man, write down the thing? Well, what do you use, or what would you use?
Right. Yeah. Well, the problem is they use a different. They're sponsored by different servo groups, but
yeah, but all servos run in a certain, have similar specs. So he's going to say, well, you're going to need at least this many, whatever newtons, or you're going to need this speed. He might say to you, well, you want to have ones that are faster with at least this much torque on them. And this is the reason why. If you're flying scale models, then you'd want to go with this, more torquey, not so fast. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either.
But that's definitely, I could see talking to somebody like him to get some background information on that.
Well, and that's one of the things I think for a 3D airplane, it's one of those things that the faster, control surfaces, the better, where compared to a big jet, you're going faster. You don't want the control surfaces fast. You want them strong, right? Because at 230 miles an hour, it takes a lot to move that control surface. So, so I kind of opted for the faster servo. That was one of my options.
And that's what I would probably, just as we're speculating, that's what I was thinking, right? You probably want the speed because of the maneuvers that you're doing, as opposed to the torque. But then again, depending on what maneuvers you're going to do, you're going to get a lot, you're going to be putting a lot of torque on that particular plane.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, I know. It's still, the directions as I read them, they basically say that you need to have, and they do theirs in grams per kilogram. Mm-hmm. So they say everywhere from the lowest is 38 grams per kilogram and the highest is 50. And so mine are right in the middle at about 38. So they're the FR Sky 5402s, the fast ones, they're right at the 38 but the 5405s are at the 54. So they're over, they're slightly over what they would, suggest. So, I mean, 1400 inch ounces or whatever, that's substantial. You can lift your car with that.
Yeah, right.
And the speed difference is not tremendous. I think these, the speed on these at 8 volts is like 0.03 or is 0.05. And the other ones are like 0.15 or something. So they're just slightly, I mean, I don't fly professionally like that. I'm not a tournament of champion winner 3 times or whatever, but so I don't necessarily know if I would, be able to find the speed difference. Like somebody might fly it enough that they would understand that, or I don't fly those big airplanes enough to see it.
Correct.
So, but yeah, I've got to call in. He texted me right before we started the podcast here and said, "Hey, I'll be available around 3:00." So I was like, "Okay, just call me then." So. But we'll.
I guess we'll find out next podcast.
Yeah, we'll see what he says. I'm pretty sure he's going to tell me that whichever ones I use is fine. I'm not trying to win some world title. So, but they are great servos. They look fantastic. I'm really impressed with these servos. Have you used them yet, Shannon, at all?
I haven't had a chance to put any in a plane yet, but I
haven't used them, but I just got them. And, if you're watching our podcast, you can see them. This is what they look like. They're pretty big. I mean, for standard sized servos, they're pretty common, but they're all metal case and they're really nice. I mean, they're brushed aluminum. They look really good. They use a 25 tooth, servo arm. So I'm excited about that because I have a bunch of those. So
I know a lot of the guys that use the Free Sky servos and they love them. So I haven't heard anything bad. And if one goes bad, they're pretty good about replacements. Within reason. If it's something, something that starts, you get it and you get a bad one, they'll get it right back to you.
Didn't we just have somebody just had a big old crash and it was their servo arm that broke? But it was like an aluminum servo arm.
Yeah, that was the other thing that kind of happened with right as our podcast kind of got heated up. We had a Yak 130 that went down behind us, so that was pretty devastating. It is on YouTube. I think they posted it in there.
Yeah,
pretty devastating.
It was more than the arm; it was the entire tail section came off. Yeah, it was more than the arm.
That'll do it every time.
Yeah.
There's your problem.
The arm was still on. It was everything else it wasn't.
The arm was broke though. The servo, the servo linkage arm had snapped. So it was like it was bending back and forth, like a paper clip.
Yeah.
And then right as it broke, it separated the two elevator halves, and the one elevator half started fluttering, and as a result, it put stress on the bulkhead, and the bulkhead detached from the back of the airplane and just ripped both of them off. So he went from having slight, flutter to having no elevator at all.
No flutter.
Yeah. No, nothing. It just went right in. So, that happened like literally as you and I were messing with the heat. It was kind of like the podcast kind of stopped and we're like, what the heck is wrong with this thing? And I turned around and I heard everybody just go, and then I saw it, boom, it just went in. I was like, that was brutal. So we didn't capture it. And as funny as it is, where we were sitting, it would have went down right behind us.
Yep, literally.
On the podcast. So luckily we weren't doing our podcast and have this airplane get crashed in the back.
I was facing the runway when it happened. I was like, oh my gosh,
it was pretty.
You rarely see those. I mean, they're pretty.
Yeah,
yours when yours went in your Sparrow, like it was just like a quick puff of smoke because the ground was so wet.
Right.
I think it just like extinguished, but this was like fireball.
Brutal.
Fireball.
Yeah, and it went a long way. So it was like good 25, 30 yards.
Yeah, I felt bad for the pilot, but he I think he was in shock because everyone's running out to get with fire extinguishers because they were right there, and he walked away to get one at his trailer, and I was like, "Wait a second, you're going the wrong direction."
Yeah,
I think he was just in shock.
I feel bad for him. Well, I think most of the ones up there are CO2, and the one he had in his trailer was water.
Yeah,
and water works better.
They had all the water ones. But they had all the water in the fire truck.
Fire truck.
Yeah, so they went out there.
Well, Mike and I had dinner that night, and we talked about it. And I didn't realize that airplane's 13 years old, and he's the third owner.
Yeah.
So that servo's been on borrowed time for quite a while.
Yeah.
But he flew it like 8 times.
Had a salvage title.
It did, yeah. It's got more of a salvage tire now. Both turbines, because they had 2 in there, and they both look like pancakes. I mean, they look like a sandwich. They're about the size of a junior Whopper.
Wow. Just don't taste as good, though.
They don't taste as good.
I remember they were just shoveling, like it was literally just shoveling things into. There was nothing to like pick up other than that tail surface that
was knocked off. Yeah, the tail surface was actually all in one piece, surprisingly enough.
Yep.
It's separated right at the bulkhead. But anyway, overall, it was a great event. If you have a chance to come back next year, it definitely is worth a good event. The stakes were amazing. The award ceremony was great. Everybody got these really cool awards. They do a really good job with those. They make little airplanes and stick them on the award. It's really kind of neat. But yeah, had a good time. What's coming up? You said
the kids get some really cool awards too.
They did. The kids actually got the Young Guns Awards, and they got a new IX-14 Plus radio. 3 of them.
Nice.
Yeah. So
nice. Did Isaiah, the one who was sitting with us, did he get one or not?
He did not.
That's a bummer.
I don't think he got one.
Oh, bummer.
There were 3. Maybe he did. Isaiah.
I know there was more than 3 kids, so maybe he just got
maybe he did get one. I'm thinking maybe he did. But there were more than 3 kids, so they only gave out 3 radios, and there were probably 4 or 5 kids there. I think he did get a big picture from everybody though, and there were 3 of the younger ones I think got it, because one of the kids was like 13 years old. He got one, and then the other kid was like 14, and I think there was 2 of them that were 14. So I don't know how old Isaiah was, but
yeah.
But yeah, it was a great event. They did a really good job. We appreciate everybody, and shout out to Tony Quist and John Gerhardt for loaning me equipment so I could go fly the event. It was really nice of them to do that for me. I returned it that day, and told them thanks, and actually wound up now have my own equipment. So I got the new charger, and I got the new radio, and it's weird. I told Tony, I said, it's really weird to turn the radio on and see 0 airplanes in it. Because my other one had, 100. It had all mine, all Jay's, all AK mics. I mean, everybody had put their stuff in my radio, and I'd have like 6 pages of radio of airplanes.
Did you by any chance save it to Google or not?
I didn't.
No, because that's the
cool thing with it to the Google Drive. I found that after the fact. I should have been doing that.
Going forward.
Yes, going forward, I'll save it to Google Drive because it's right on the radio. So But the new radio's got all the bling on it. I switched it all out, and it's ready to go. I just have to go bind my T28 Trojan on it, and we'll get it going.
Nice.
But well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. We will be back. I think you said Gunsmoke is coming up, so we'll probably chat about that. I know Steve from FR Sky wants to get on. He's asked us to got some new stuff coming out they want to talk about, so we'll get with him as well. But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to our Facebook listeners page. Join us on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel, and listen to us on your whatever your favorite podcast in the car or wherever you listen to us on in your shop. And give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe. So thank you very much, both of us, for joining. I know Jay was really busy today and took a little bit of time out to come join us. He was
to work.
Yeah, he's got a big project he was in the middle of. I called him. Nice. I was like, "Hey man, give us a few minutes. We got to do this real quick," and because it didn't work, so he was nice to join us. So anyway, other than that, you got anything for us, Shannon?
Just Gunsmoke's coming up, getting ready for that, and there's a couple events in California a little bit later this summer we're hoping to hit. So we'll keep you posted on those, and. It's going to get a little warm here soon. We got the E-Jet days after Gunsmoke. That's like our last event, and it's usually a little toasty, but we'll make it through.
Maybe I'll have a jet for that event.
There you go. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I'm Michael from Arizona.
I'm Jay from the Low Country of South Carolina.
And Shannon G in Mesa AZ.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.